Traders, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing the February review. I did this in January. You guys loved it. We finished up about 3-point-something%, and now up another 2.22%. I was actually married on February 22nd, so that's kind of funny. I didn't realize that until just right now, so that's cool. But before we get into this, first, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my future videos. We do tutorials, we do trainings, we do podcasts, we do everything. I'm also the host of the Day Trading Show, in case you didn't know. We've got Tim Sykes that just came on the podcast, Kyle, Jade Cap, 1.3 million in payouts. This month, I've got Gary Cardone coming, Josh Bellinger, a lot of cool people. So make sure you're checking out the podcast too. Before we get into the stats though, March 16th, Ben Sparham and I are hosting a free webinar. Now, we've done a couple of these leading up to this big webinar here in March. The reason why this is important is because I think a lot of you guys are doing well this year, like me. So what are you doing with the cash? We're going to talk to you about how to build a long-term investment portfolio of profitable ideas on the webinar. We're going to be sharing some insights into the course that he has built with me. We're going to be dropping that on the 16th as well. We're going to be giving everybody a big discount. So make sure you're there. Sign up for the webinar. The link is in the description, maybe flying in above my head. Sign up. I want to make sure you guys are there for that. You can see the calendar. I'm really proud of the 71% daily win rate. Again, keeping that going strong from the start of the year, even from last year in 2023. 65% trade win rate this month, which is pretty good. You'll see this is not just my futures account. This is my CFD account as well. I can't trade the CFD account as of today because we're not allowed to in the US until they migrate us over to DX trade, it seems like. This video is not to talk about that. We're talking about my stats, but most of the trading this month was done on my futures account, as you can see. Now I just bought another combine. I'm going to be working on that going into next month as well. And I want to stack to 3 accounts with Top Step. But if you just take a look at this and I click, you'll see my futures trading was really good this month. Very green. 3.89 profit factor is very high for me. 73% daily win rate, trade win rate, basically 74%, and 4.38% gain on the futures. Now, if we add in the CFD, you'll see, because I took some losses earlier in the month, it was a little bit rough, only a 0.93% gain here. So you'll say, Austin, why did you take such a big loss at the beginning of the month? Well, we're going to go over that in a second. But the way that I can explain it first is I had a buffer. You saw we were up on this challenge from the last month's video. So when I was up halfway to the goal, I decided to size up. And of course, the first day I trade of February, when I size up, I end up taking a couple of losses. I took 4 trades, I think, that day, 3 losses. I ended up recovering, as you can see, by the end of the week. Don't forget my 2 good days here, but it was a rough start to the month for sure. But we finished the month strong and still ended profitable, which I'm proud of. You can see daily win rate 62%, average win-loss 0.93. So that's the stats between the futures and the CFD account. We'll see if the CFD account comes back. I think top 1 is going to bring us back and we'll get trading to this again, hopefully in March. But until then, you're going to see a lot more futures from me. So again, here's the whole month up 2.22% between both accounts and everything like that. I think this daily net cumulative P&L really highlights the month for me. Started off a little rough, but stayed focused, dug myself out day by day, if it was really something to dig out of, as you'll see in a second, and finished the month strong. So let's jump first to that. Really, we would call it the first full week of the month, since Thursday and Friday don't really count on the first and the second. So you'll see on the net P&L for that Tuesday, it says 241, but that's because I held these trades, the last trade, into the next day and I closed it in pieces. If you look at Wednesday, you'll see we made money Wednesday, and then Thursday we made more money. We closed it all in full on Thursday. These were long positions on SPX. Tuesday was just the chop fest, as you're going to see here in a second. The other thing I want you guys to notice, if you're watching this far into the video, pay attention to my entries. They are the same. You'll see. This one is a break of the low of day VWAP, the purple VWAP here. Daily VWAP is in black. This is just a little far. And as we're at 7:30, we typically get a little consolidation before the open. That's what screws me here. So I take this early loss and I'm fine with it. Look, out, and I swapped long. I actually ended up buying it right there and making some money back. Then it rises into market open, as you can see. So I get long again here as we're seeing bullish momentum at 9:30. Huge bar against me right away. I get half of the trade off there, as you can see, labeled. Then I add back in as it's breaking that high of day VWAP I was using. Well, comes right against me, closed another 50%, and then I was full out of the trade as it comes back to the all-time high VWAP and the daily VWAP. So you'll see I'm using high of day, low of day VWAP in purple. I'm using key zones like Asian range high, yesterday's high, high of week, and I'm using the daily VWAP in black and the all-time high VWAP in green. So now we're 2 trades into the day, not doing too hot. 3 trades into the day, not doing too hot. Lost the short, won the long right here, quick little long, and then lost this one. What ends up happening though, is I try to buy it again here, later in the day, a little early before it breaks the daily VWAP, before it breaks the all-time high VWAP, and before it breaks the high of day VWAP. So I was in a little early, which is why I gave it a bigger stop. But look, I still closed out of this trade and just quit on it here. Well, after I quit on it at 12:30 in the afternoon, I ended up getting back in for one more trade that I ended up holding with the same risk into Wednesday and Thursday. It closed it in pieces as it ripped higher, and that's what made me my money back. So this was the structure of the day. You can see it was very, very sideways in here, but the idea was never invalid. And that's why I held into the trade overnight on the CFD account. I put the stop at the low of day and I held it because the idea was to be long until the low of day was taken out. The low of day wasn't taken out. We just chopped. So the idea still held true, which is why I wanted to make sure I put a piece on and didn't give up on it into Wednesday and Thursday. And then you'll see here, like Wednesday, look, woke up still long SPX. From here, you see moved up into the Asian session. I closed some at 4 p.m., closed some at like 8:30 before I went to bed, woke up still in profit. This is on Wednesday of that week. And then you'll see like by the end of the day, Wednesday, it looks like this. Much higher, way higher at 5,000, right? So I have a buy-in at 49.45. By the end of the day, we're literally at 5,000. So we're 50 points higher by the end of the day here. And these were the trade ideas from that day. Then Thursday, took the full thing out here. Finally got out of it here at 50.15. You can see the price. So that was the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of me digging out of that red start to the month. Questions about that, put them in the comments. I'm happy to clarify anything and show more detail. So now let's fast forward to the 23rd of the month. I just want to show you this day as well. It was a really good day for me. You'll see, again, the trades look similar. Purple high of day VWAP, daily is the black VWAP. You can see price structure. It's like right behind my head here. If I just slide myself over, you'll see price structure right there. That's the stop loss. I'm in on the break of the daily and the high of day VWAP at 7 o'clock in the morning. A2 confirms the idea, which is really great. I love the 8-point stop, as you can see on the pricing. And then full out at 1R. I closed two contracts here and locked the stop as it moved higher. So you'll see I'm very discretionary in how I take profit too. Not often do I realize the full 1R gains on my trade, hence why my losses look bigger than my wins. But because I'm winning 70% of the time I click the button, basically, I make money. So you have to know your win rate, you have to know your average risk reward, and you have to know your discretion. I am a very discretionary trader. And this was the trade. Long on the break of the daily and the high of day VWAP. This is just the higher time frame. And you can see trading right up for 1R right to the yesterday's high level. It's perfect. That's exactly how I like my trades. I often find that I'm trading into a level at high of week or yesterday's high, something like that. I like having a ceiling to aim for. I know I can just take the trade there and be very happy with that. Then I want to share this because this was just, I think, part of my discretion as well. I take a short here. At the end of the day, it's 12:30, 12:40. I'm short on the daily VWAP break. It's making a lower high here. I'm thinking, okay, put a 20-point stop in, go a smaller position, see if we get any sell-off into the afternoon. It never really sells off, but I think a lot of people would bail on this trade in here and just give up. I just stayed in because the idea was not invalid. And I knew, read my note, I knew it could retest this structure. It's exactly what it did. And I was able to get out of the thing in profit, even though it died here at the end of the day in profit, but I was able to hold in and get out. So this is where I think my edge really shows. Is like some people will take the same trade as me often because we're trading VWAP and people understand how I trade and they follow and they do it, but I manage the trades better. That's why I'm profitable. So that was this day, Friday, and then I'm going to show you one more day. This was the 13th. Again, low of day VWAP, daily VWAP. We're under the daily, so I'm selling it. I'm in on the break of the low of day VWAP, and we have an A2 short in play. Two of my favorite entries, 0.8R on this one. You see how quickly it goes? 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes, and it's at 0.8R. Look what I did. Covered half here and locked the stop. And then I get tapped out on it. There's no way I'm going to go 0.8R when I'm only looking for 1R and not do anything. That's like if I'm risking 1,000 and now I'm up 1,800 and I'm going to end with a red trade. No way. I'm going to make sure I take some gains off and lock the stop. That's how I keep the win rate high. So again, not married to the full 1R. Later in the morning, I short Bitcoin, same trade. Low of day VWAP, under the daily VWAP, stop is at structure, A2's in play. See how it's the same trade, everybody? That's what it means to have a playbook of entries. This is my entry, the break of the VWAP. The A2 is an entry, that's a playbook. You use those playbooks together, you take those trades over and over and over again and manage with, proper discretion. You make money. Full out at 1R on this one, it ends up going 2.5R. That happens to me pretty often. And then later in the day, final trade, because I've been doing some afternoon trading. You can see here, break of the news VWAP in yellow, break of the low of day VWAP in purple, and we're under the daily VWAP. Stop is at structure here. I felt like this was too tight, too much of like current structure. I like to go with previous structure. So I go here and you can see 1R to this zone. This zone is the earlier low of day drawn right back here, as you can see. So that's where I'm trading to. And it's an easy, just like I showed you with the level on the upside, this is the level on the downside. Now, read my notes, closed full out here, not moving, and I have coaching calls. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, 1:30 in the afternoon, excuse me, and I end up missing out on a little more gains there. Could have made even more money. So reading the VWAP, reacting to the VWAP, being more long biased than short biased on the indices has made my life very, very easy. So again, here's the stats just to show you guys everything. I can even show you here if we go into reports and then we go trade time, you'll see where I'm doing really well. You'll see New York Open, I'm not doing that well. And I am trading a lot then. But after the open and before the open, I found my sweet spot. So if you're not tracking your own stats like this, you're just leaving money on the table, to be honest. I think everyone should be tracking with TradeZella. I have a discount code I can promo. I'll put a card above my head to save you 10%. Sign up, please. Everyone, if you're trading, you need to do this. If you're running from this accountability, you're never going to become successful in this business. And I'm not just saying that. It is a true fact. You've got to embrace the mistakes. This type of data collection will help you avoid those mistakes in the future, have them cost you less money, and help you see your discretionary edge or your systematic edge, however you'd like to express your edge. We're open to anyone, however you'd like to express yourself here on this channel, okay? Not really, but you know what I mean. Listen, I appreciate you if you watched all the way through. Hopefully you enjoyed the February review. Hopefully I'll see you March 16th on the webinar. Use the link in the description. And again, if you're watching this after March 16th, the replay link will be down there as well. Cool. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate your time. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you in the next video.